19 minutes past the hour. It's hour number 4 on a Monday. Great day in Oklahoma. Teddy Lehman and Dusty Dvorak, your host, Drake Dykin, back in studio. We're at Buy for Less today, 1201 South Cornwell, right here in Yukon. Coming here for the Corona Light Rush Tour. Great deals, Corona Light. They got some great giveaways for you right here. T-shirts, got some hats. The hats are all gone. Got some bottle openers, all kinds of great things going on right here at Buy for Less. And remember, when you buy for less, you get more right here at 1201 South Cornwell in Yukon.
This hour brought to you by the Riverwind Casino and Hotel, located just south of Norman off of Highway 9 and I-35. Every Thursday, you could haul home a truckload of cash and prizes. Random drawings will be held from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. for $8,000 in cash and prizes, including a grand prize drawing for $1,200 at 11 p.m. Starting at 8 a.m. on Thursdays, play any electronic game with your wild card, and you'll receive an entry with every 5 points earned.
Let's get back to Thunder Cover, brought to you by Farmers Insurance with NewsOK.com and the Oklahomans' Darnell Mayberry. Darnell, just watching it on TV from home, it sure seemed like that was an emotional game, one that may have meant even a little bit more than usual in the playoffs. You were there personally. Was that how it was for you? These guys, they really wanted to win that game Saturday night.
No doubt about it. When you look at 29 seconds in the game, Kendrick Perkins trying to flatten Patrick Beverly with a screen, an illegal screen that he didn't mind lowering his shoulder and really sending a message. And then Kevin Durant in the second quarter, when Jeremy Lin brought the ball up the court to call a timeout, Kevin Durant lunged at Jeremy Lin and really reached in and tried to send a message by making the same play that Patrick Beverly made on Russell Westbrook. So all of those different things really just showed you how much that game meant to the Thunder, not just because they wanted to go up 3-0, but also because they wanted to protect or really just kind of show that they appreciated everything Russell Westbrook means to this team, and that they did not appreciate the play that Patrick Beverly made that knocked him out of the rest of the playoffs.
Darnell, I want to ask you about James Harden. He scored the ball a lot. He's averaging 28 over these 3 games, but has been largely inefficient, well under 40% from the field, three-point range, under 20%. What's the Thunder been doing to him to give him such a hard time?
Well, I think you got to start with Thabo Sefolosha. He's been incredible on the ball to start with, and he's made him a jump shooter. He's getting to the basket some, and he's getting to the free throw line. I mean, he got to the line 20 times the other night. And another, I think it was 10, 12 times on Saturday. But he's still, really having to be a high-usage, high-volume shooter to get what he gets. And that's all you can do with star players. And James Harden, at this point, we all know, is a star player. And Thabo Sefolosha has just been incredible on him defensively, really using his length and being physical against Harden. And then team defense, I think you can't rule out or ignore what the Thunder has done as a team in terms of making him really just play in a crowd and see multiple guys behind Thabo. And they've done a good job. I think the Thunder deserves a lot of credit.
Game plan tonight. What's the mindset tonight offensively to go ahead and close this thing out and get the sweep?
I think you just really need to come out and do what you've been doing for the majority of this series, excluding the second half of Game 3. If they come out and really move the ball, get everyone involved, and let Kevin Durant be Kevin Durant when he has to be Kevin Durant and not try to rely solely on him for 48 minutes, I think they're going to be better off. But defensively, they've also got to play with intensity, play focused, and as a team for the majority of the game, not let the Rockets get back into the game or build confidence, really not let them get hot from three-point range, because you saw in the second half when that happens, they can really put a scare into you. So, but I think the Thunder knows that if they get this win, they can move on and really rest up while that Grizzlies-Clippers series is wrapping up. And if they do that, that'll give them a chance to really prepare and tweak some things now that Westbrook is out, and really try to figure out how they can move forward and proceed without one of their all-stars in Russell Westbrook. I think that'll be big for them, and they know that they need that time. So from that standpoint, I think they're going to be ready to play tonight and really try to get this win.
Serge Ibaka, we mentioned a little bit earlier, 14 attempts, a lot more than what we're used to with him. He was still pretty efficient, 7 of 14, 50% from the field. Do you look to see them getting him involved more, or do you think he's just going to have to do it on his own, with the hustle plays, the putbacks and stuff?
When you look at the fact that James Harden sometimes is covering Serge, you kind of wonder why they're not getting him involved more as it is. And, Serge Ibaka is really good when he starts off the game. Yeah, exactly. But he's good when he starts off the game, hustling on the glass, providing those energy plays, getting putbacks. If he can just start the game off that way, then I think that's going to help him to really get into a rhythm as the game goes on. So that's what I look for out of Serge, because no one can stop him on the glass, but they got to get him some touches on the low block, especially when a guy like James Harden is guarding him.
You mentioned earlier Jeremy Lamb, DeAndre Liggins, maybe taking some minutes away from Kevin Durant, give him a little bit of rest. I mean, you got two totally conflicting styles there. Jeremy Lamb, he's a shooter, he's a scorer, and DeAndre Liggins got to be a defensive specialist who uses his athleticism. How did Scott Brooks make that determination on who he's going to use? Is it situational? If you need defense out there, if you need offense out there?
Yeah, I think it's just a feel thing. He'll read the game and see, okay, if we're struggling to score, Jeremy, get in there. If, the Rockets are going off, James Harden, Chandler Parsons, any of those guys, Patrick Beverly, those are all guys that Liggins can at least get assigned to and try to do a good job with his intensity and his his physical nature. So I think it'll just be a feel thing when it comes to those two.
Hey, Darnell, DeAndre Liggins, early on in the season, I love the guy. I mean, I like his effort. I like his demeanor. Chicago guy, reminds you of a bigger Tony Allen. I felt like when he got a chance to play, Ted, we talked about this a lot, he was playing well. Seems like, down the stretch after the All-Star break, we saw less and less of DeAndre Liggins. What happened? Why is that?
Well, Derek Fisher came in, and as soon as that happened, that spelled the end of DeAndre Liggins' time in the rotation, which was unfortunate for the kid because, here he is, a second-year player. He's trying to carve out a career for himself in this league, and he really showed that he's a valuable role player. He can be an integral piece to this puzzle. But, when they signed Derek Fisher, that really took his minutes away, and it'll be interesting to see what happens next year. I know this year is not over, but, we always like looking ahead, and next year what DeAndre Liggins is going to be able to provide for this team because he's still under contract for next year, and I think they like him. They really like what he brings. They like his toughness, his attitude, and his skill set. So I think next year he could be that 9th, 10th man in the rotation where he can get some minutes, but, then he's going to be competing with Jeremy Lamb. So it's never easy in this league, but DeAndre Liggins is cut out for it. He's got the makeup for it.
What adjustments do you expect to see? I mean, first game back, first time to ever see the Thunder without Russell Westbrook. The coaches had a chance to go back, check out the film, see what happened during the game, what the Rockets did. What do you think the adjustments are going to be tonight?
Well, I think the Thunder really can't rely solely on Kevin Durant. I mentioned it, but they really need more guys to be involved, and they're always at their best when they're moving the basketball and getting everyone involved. They did that well in Game 3, but they could do it better. They could do it a lot better. And it probably didn't look as good simply because some of the guys just missed shots. And if you miss a shot, nothing looks good. So I think we can see these guys get back to trying to make it a team game and not really relying as much on Durant. But, it's time, if it comes time in a game when Durant needs to take over, I think they're more than willing to let him do him and really take over the game. But, in terms of adjustments, I think the Thunder's played a great series so far. I don't think they need to do much differently. And the Rockets, they feel like, they've played basketball, good enough basketball to where they should be up 2-1 in this series and not down 0-3. So I think you're going to try to see them come out and be really the aggressor from start to finish. They're starting Francisco Garcia tonight, so that's one adjustment. We'll see out of Coach Kevin McHale, just so he can try to play a little more physical on Kevin Durant. And if they can do that and get off to a good start, they'll be in good shape. But I really look for the Thunder to come out and take care of business because they know what's at stake here tonight. They got to end this series as soon as possible.
So you got a Thunder sweep then. You got the Thunder winning tonight.
Yeah, I said that before the series started, and, I'll stick to that. But, anything can happen. Anything can happen. The Rockets, they're a prideful team. They're a scrappy team, and as we've seen in the last 2 games, they're not going to give up. So I wouldn't be surprised that the Thunder, at this point, without Westbrook, I think they know how important it is to get this series over with.
All right, man. Well, great stuff. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you on Wednesday. Always a pleasure.
All right, guys. Take care.
That's your Thunder cover brought to you by Farmers Insurance with NewsOK.com and the Oklahomans' Darnell Mayberry.